I got Apple. The stock's had a rough time lately. One of my producers called the company boring. Whoa, that set off a firestorm. I don't think there's anything boring about this. Apple hit a record $1.7 billion in App Store transactions in 1 month. That would be July. $1.7 billion. Shana Glenzer from SocialRadar. You think Apple is boring by any chance? Shana?
I can't agree that Apple is entirely boring. Listen, yes, they haven't had maybe a breakout hit like an iPhone recently, but this year alone, they announced the Apple Watch. They're working on this Project Titan, autonomous cars, and Apple Music is taking a lot of people away from the Spotify streaming service that so many people had fled Apple for, a few years ago, and bringing them back around. So I wouldn't quite call Apple boring quite yet.
$1.7 billion in App Store transactions. Is that mostly games? It certainly seems to me to be an enormous... $1.7 billion is greater than the GDP of about a half dozen countries, if not more. I think that's an enormous amount of money.
It's an enormous amount of money, and a lot of it is coming still from people who are purchasing music. Yes, app purchases will only continue to increase as more and more people create apps, have the in-app purchases, and all the app developers have to pay Apple a little bit for all those in-app purchases. So you'll continue to see that number go up, but the big hit here is music, and Apple, clearly with Apple Music, is trying to only continue to increase those subscriber numbers. They want to get to 100 million subscribers of Apple Music in the years ahead.
But they can't make as much money out of Apple Music as they could out of a breakthrough new product. And the watch does not appear to be, at this point, the breakthrough new product.
I would agree with that. Though I will say, one of the things that I think makes people think that Apple is boring is the fact that, their mom and dad are now using Apple. But that is a good thing for Apple. The more that Apple can get into corporate organizations that are switching out iPhones for BlackBerries or Androids, or that get MacBooks in the hands of corporate employees, that is something that, yes, makes them a little more boring, but I would also argue makes them a little more mainstream and will make them a lot more money in the years ahead.
I just wonder if the whole idea of wearables is that big a deal. I'm beginning to suspect it's not. And last word to you.
I don't know if I agree with that, Stuart. We'll have to see, but I think that though they didn't release the Apple Watch numbers, I think they have a lot of momentum. And I'm one of the Fitbit wearers. I've been wearing it for over a year and a half. So I don't know. I believe. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, I'll back right off. Shana, thank you very much indeed.
It's the women that are wearing their Fitbits. That's why we're going to live longer than you.
Well, you do anyway.
We do. That's true. But no, that's, again, we'll see. So actually,
what are you saying about Stuart and I?
Yeah, geriatric Brits.
All
All right.